Hello, everyone. A warm welcome to our Women Together Connect. My name is Antoinette, and I am our host today. And it is wonderful to be together on this Tuesday, noon Eastern. I hope you all are doing well. And I'd love to hear just a little bit about where we're each coming from. So in the comment section or in the chat, you can type in just a little hello and where you're coming from. Today, I am in the Blue Ridge Mountains, so wherever you may be, you can share a little bit, but I'm bringing fall, crisp energy, a lot of lovely leaves changing colors. And it's wonderful to just connect with each other in this way. I love bringing women together. I love holding this space for women together, and really the feeling of what happens when each of us connect with each other. And it's just absolutely, I think it's absolute magic. So it's wonderful to be together. So hello, friends, whether you've been here with us time and again, or this is your first time here with us, a warm, warm welcome. I see many of us coming in from all over. So I see Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Sweden, Silver Spring, Maryland, Berlin in the house, Vermont, wonderful, New Jersey. It's great to see us coming together, and I know there are a few coming in on YouTube as well, so feel free to type in on the comments. And a reminder, the reason we do this is with Eileen Fisher, she really does believe in the magic of what happens when women come together. And it is, I think, quite an energy, quite a connection for us to hear from each other, to go into a practice together, to move into dialogue, and then to go out into our day. And today, I think this topic is quite timely, replenishing ourselves. So we'll go into what that means a bit. But what we're doing inside Women Together in this connect space is really practicing. So doing tiny practices that allow us to reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with each other, and then find the inner place that we're operating from to go out in the world and either be more of ourselves in our daily lives or in our work or in our communities where the world needs us. So I see many more coming in. We've got North Carolina as well, Santa Barbara, California, Riverside, California, and also recognizing that these places have many, many who have walked this earth before us. So just connecting into the ancestors of this place that you may be in or on, that connected to. We'll just take a moment to land here today. So taking a breath, you see Austin, Texas, and on YouTube as well, taking a breath and just landing here. So you can get your feet on the ground and feel a sense of connection to the earth. Perhaps lower your gaze or close your eyes, whichever's comfortable for you. And as you tune into the breath, just feeling the flow of air moving in and out of the body. And just noticing what's here for you today, noticing if there's tension, noticing if there is an active mind today. So almost as if you're taking a screenshot of yourself today. What is here? What is coming up? Whatever comes up, just letting it go and tuning inward. One of the most basic practices of meditation is to kind of allow the thought to come in, allow ourselves to be aware of the thought, and then letting that thought go. And it may come right back in again, but just coming into that practice, letting whatever is coming up be there. Letting things arise, letting things fall away. And tuning into the breath. When you're ready, you can begin to just connect into what brought me here today. So, what really brought me here today? And oftentimes we have that first story. Well, I saw the email, I got it from a friend, whatever it was. I got the regular email. But what really brought you here today? And whatever that may be, you can reconnect with the screen and share in the chat or in the comment section what brought you here today. And I'll just read a few out and then we'll do a little connection and welcoming together. So, what brought you here today? Perhaps it was the topic, replenishing ourselves. I see a few in on the YouTube. Hartford, Kennebunkport, Maine, Rockport, Mass. Wonderful. So I see togetherness, the best way to have lunch, the draw of powerful women, my need for some peace and serenity, the great strength of women's supportive connection, place where my only job is to be present, gratitude, curiosity, and enjoying female spaces sometimes. I love it. Connect with powerful group of women, connecting with wise women to learn about myself and others, self-care, and yes, replenishing me. I need replenishment more than ever now. Oh, don't we all? I feel like there's never a bad time for replenishing ourselves. Glad to have you back with us, Jackie. I see grateful today for a scheduling change so I can return here, miss these sessions. Wonderful. So it's wonderful to be together, and I'll just share a little bit of some of my thinking around replenishing ourselves. We'll move into a little practice, and then the magic of coming together. I see on YouTube some lovely comments too. So great. Habit, routine, enlightenment. And thanks, Jamie, for the love. So good. We are here. And in order to bring ourselves in just a little further before I dive into the topic, I'd love to invite us to welcome ourselves and each other. So as we connect with the screen and as we connect with each other, just taking in for a moment a welcome to yourself. So if you can turn your video on. This is the moment. And you can connect with each other and just allow us to see each other and to be seen by each other. And then maybe taking that even a little bit further, I sometimes see us wave to each other. You can also do a little like Zoom hug, a little putting your hands to the edges of the Zoom and just feeling each other on the edges of the screen. And then we can all see each other holding each other and just feeling each other, allowing ourselves to feel one another and to be felt. That moment when we wave or we feel each other, this moment of experiencing almost as if we're walking down the hall and seeing our friend that we haven't seen in so long, and there she is. And that little joy, the little joy to just connect. And then you could just take a couple of moments to maybe zoom in your own world on 4 little boxes. So if you're in Zoom on the top right corner, you can go into gallery view, and then gallery. And you can just take in a few images. So maybe take 4 boxes on Zoom, 4 of these little beautiful videos, and just take them in fully and sharing a warm welcome to these 4 women that you see on your screen. So just sending a wonderful, warm welcome from the heart, allowing yourselves to be felt, allowing ourselves to feel. Taking a deep breath, allowing ourselves to be welcomed here. Beautiful. Wonderful. Part of the way that we replenish ourselves is to connect in with each other and to remember that we're not just this little head, this little bobbing thought stream, that we're more than that thought stream, more than a work productivity stream, but that we have this body, this feeling experiencing sensation, experiencing emotion, and that there's so much more to us. There's so much constantly in connection all day long. And yet sometimes we get a bit far from that. And that's when we need replenishment. So for a moment, I'd just like for us to think, or just take a moment to consider what has been bringing me maybe away from myself. And I see already in the comments on YouTube that I feel restless and agitated, literally restless with insomnia these days due to hormonal changes, needing replenishment. So I'm wondering what is bringing you. You could take a moment and journal, or you could, maybe it's just right there at the top of mind. For me, sometimes it's just when I am connecting with other people, I sometimes leave myself. I'm so committed and dedicated to being with this group of people, or being with a friend, or being with a family member, that I lose connection with Antoinette. And I, like, my shoulders go up. I get like engaged. I get really interested in what they have to say. So just thinking about that for a moment. What is it? And you know, I do that also with my work. I get really into a document that I need to provide, or you know, something that I'm organizing. So what is it that takes you kind of out? And you can take a moment and journal that, or just sit with it for a moment. If you'd like to, you can type it into the chat if you feel comfortable. If you don't, that's totally fine. You just take, you know, share what wants to be shared, but no need to jump so far out of your comfort zone today, or yet. So just sharing what feels right for you, if you'd like to, in the chat. And I see a family crisis. So just taking a moment. And sometimes for those of you journaling, I get stuck on something, and my hand is, you know, sort of like up here with my thoughts. And when I just bring the pen back to the paper, that really is the key. Something new comes out that I wasn't expecting before. Yep. Slipping back into the chaos of familiar. Kathleen says, sometimes taking one out of self is to enlarge into what is going on. The flow is not the same as being distracted. Absolutely agree. And sometimes I can be in flow, complete flow, and I still need to find ways, or even little moments, to replenish myself, to make sure that I have enough resource to be able to continue to stay in flow. So how do I stay in creativity? Sometimes requires a breath, a reconnect back. And I notice it in my body. So maybe the second question, if you are journaling, so the first one was really, you know, what is it that takes you out? And the second one is, what happens in the body? So what happens in the body in your experience? So for me, I shared my shoulders go up. I don't even notice it until I start to relax that my shoulders were up here. I lean forward a little bit. So sometimes my chin goes out a little bit. If I'm really into something, my knees lock up. And we might not even have this awareness right now. This might be very, you know, like, body, what's that? But just recognizing, what is it that comes up for you in the body. Another example in the chat, FOMO takes me out of connection. So when I feel like I'm missing out on something else, I kind of forget to be in connection here. So if you even have one body thing that happens, one body thing, we're going to take a moment, we're going to do a little practice, and then we'll journal one more time. So taking a moment and just, you can close your eyes, or you can keep your eyes at a soft gaze. So the first practice is just going to be to soften the gaze. So if I'm intently looking at something, let's say I'm looking at one of you in the boxes, I have my eyes sort of really laser focused. And the idea is to kind of soften the focus, almost so that you're taking in the whole, taking in the whole of the screen at first, and maybe the whole of the room that you're in. So just softening the gaze. And again, this is a practice of moving between a focused awareness, a focused attention, and open awareness. So just holding a soft gaze. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes, that's okay. And then as you stay in connection with the body for a moment, perhaps tuning in awareness to wherever that body part was. So for me, it's the shoulders. My shoulders kind of creep up all day. So just for a moment, I'm going to tune the awareness to the shoulders and just notice where they are. I'm not going to try and change anything, but just noticing, where are my shoulders right now? Are they hunched? Are they back? And you can pick any body part, just noticing what's there. And just a little tiny practice of a open awareness, just softly being with the body and noticing, oh, are my knees locked up? My toes scrunched together? Could be anything. Sometimes we experience it as tension, so we feel a sensation of pain. And sometimes it's not painful at all. It's just a holding. So I'd like to invite a little body scan to just invite us into a deepened state of relaxation. Part of replenishment is relaxation. So I'd like to invite you to shift the breath from going in and out to feeling the breath in the body moving up and down. So on the inhale, inhaling from the feet. So pulling the air into the feet. And then exhaling up from the feet, up all the way to the crown of the head. And we'll do that again, inhaling into the feet. And exhaling, the air moves up the back of the body, up through the crown of the head. Perhaps extending past the feet, feeling a connection with the earth. Feeling the inhale being called into the earth. And then on the exhale, the breath moving up the body, out the top of the head. And this time we'll do just a little squeezing and releasing. So we'll start at the toes. You can close your eyes or keep your soft focus. Squeezing the toes, squeezing the feet, squeezing the heels, squeezing the ankles, squeezing the calf muscles, squeezing the knees. And when you squeeze, really squeezing and holding the body, holding the tops of the legs, the thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes. Squeeze, 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 squeeze it all together, squeezing the pelvis, squeezing the abdominal muscles, squeezing your hips, squeezing the top of the abdominal muscles, the rib cage, squeezing in and in and in, squeezing the fists, squeezing the wrists, squeezing the arms, every part of your arms, biceps, triceps, shoulders, squeeze, 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 maybe squeezing them up to the ears, squeezing the chin, squeezing the jaw, squeezing the back of the head, squeezing the neck, squeezing the eyes, squeezing the eyeballs if you can, squeezing the head, scrunching your forehead, squeeze, 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 even a little tighter. And then release release the top of the head, release the neck, release the shoulders, release the arms, release the fingers, release the back of the body, release the back of the body. Release the glutes, release the hamstrings, release the quads, release the knees, release the calves, release the toes. And one more time, we'll squeeze everything together, squeezing the whole body, squeezing the toes, the heels, the ankles, the calves, the knees, the tops of the legs, the glutes, the abs, the arms, the wrists, the ankles, the arms, the elbows, the shoulders, the jaw, all of the head, everything behind the head, in front of the head, the nose, the lips, the eyes, squeeze, 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 and then release again. Releasing the head, releasing the eyes, releasing the jaw. We can even open the jaw, releasing the shoulders, moving the shoulders around, releasing the chest, and just bringing movement in. So part of a tiny practice is also bringing movement back in, releasing the fingers, releasing the hips, just feeling a little movement in the seat. Releasing the knees, releasing the ankles, maybe rolling out the feet, releasing the toes, find the wiggle in the toes. Wiggling the toes awakens the polyvagal nervous system. So just reawakening everything. Part of reawakening is replenishing, reconnecting, being in the body, being fully awake and alive. And that's what brings us back online. And these tiny practices, just squeezing and releasing before bed, squeezing and releasing, it's like, half the time, if you're not like squeezing your eyes and your lips, you can do it during a meeting, so just squeeze, release. So do what you need to do to just find that replenishment, to reconnect, to relax. Oh, I'm here, I'm in the body. And that can connect us back to our creativity. It can connect us back to our vibrant sources of being, an aliveness in the body and the self, and just even sometimes taking a breath. So we'll return back to the journaling and just write down for a moment, what is it? Maybe this tiny practice is helpful. Maybe there are others. What is it that I need to do to replenish myself? Maybe for me, sometimes it's picking up the phone and having a long chat with a friend who I haven't talked to in a while. Sometimes it's just, as I said, taking a breath, reconnecting the breath and the body. Sometimes it's a stretch in the middle of the day. I just need to, be here. And sometimes it's really like a full 30-minute, hour-long meditation, just really being away from all things, letting it all go, tuning in with my own source of connection of life, just being with that. So I'll give you another moment to just journal or write down, what is it, or maybe think about, what is it that I really need to replenish myself on a regular basis? What do I need? What resource do I need to replenish myself? I know many of us have gone through a lot of transitions throughout the last few years, months, weeks, and often the things that allow us to be resilient are the ways that we can resource ourselves, the ways that we can replenish ourselves. So what is it that I need to be able to replenish myself? And then we, in a moment, are gonna share a little bit of what do I need? And sometimes, sometimes it's helpful to hear from others what we need, because I can then remember, oh, I used to do that. I had that practice 20 years ago or whatever it is. So just we'll do that in just a moment. And if you're in YouTube, I want to invite you to share in the comments, what is it that I do to replenish myself? Because often I really do think that the connection is the most valuable part of this time together, that we can turn to each other and we can share with one another that I'm not alone in this experience of leaving myself, whether it's for flow or for distraction, that there's this little way that I sort of disconnect and that there's a moment of reconnecting. And I think that's the essence of what we're talking about when we talk about replenishing ourselves. So it's not just soaking in a hot tub, which is a wonderful way. I love that. And it's really about this just reconnect back with, what is it that I'm here to do? What is it that that's really the essence of me in this moment? And that allows us to show up in every moment in a better way. So, or maybe it's not better. Maybe it doesn't feel better to you at the moment, but it's more true. It's more honest, and that allows us to flow. So if you are in YouTube, you can share in the comments. If you're in Zoom, we will be able to do the physical turning to each other, the best part of our time together. And what I'll invite is that as we turn to each other, a reminder that we are really deeply listening to each other at a place of not just, what have you done? Where are you from? But really listening to the possibility in this person, that each of us has the possibility to walk through life as replenished beings, fully nurtured and whole, and that we can see each other as that. And that's the first step to being there. So as we listen to each other, remembering that we don't know what the other person has had for breakfast, let alone their life story. So we're just holding compassion that this person may be going through many things, or may have been through a great deal in their lives, and that we each bring unique experiences to these conversations. So really just practicing the art of deep listening, the gift of listening to each other. And we'll share for about 20 minutes in our small groups. You'll share your name. You'll share a little bit of maybe where you're from if you'd like, and really the essence of what is taking me away from myself, and how do I reconnect? How do I replenish? How do I reconnect to the source of who I am? So we'll enjoy the time together, and we'll see you back in 20 minutes for continued dialogue. Those of you on YouTube, we'll see you next week. Thanks, everyone. See you back here in 20 minutes.